evening.
Hi, teacher. Good evening.
Okay, so are you now ready for the class?
Yes.
Very good. Did you open your book?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will now continue to number two, Nikki.
Okay.
And letter C. What is the Finns' intercultural recipe for success?
Don't like Hollywood style present too much, and I think
Oh,
it's
I can't hear you clearly, Nikki.
have. Uh, she, she says
He
don't like.
said,
She said don't like Hollywood, Hollywood style present too much, and don't to be
don't be
boring.
boring.
Yeah, and don't too loud, but use simple body language, just like smile.
And not too loud. Simple body language and smile. Okay, very good. Oh, okay. So he says a smile works in all cultures. All right.
Yes.
So what does the Kuwaitis say about private and public speaking? So would you
Uh,
take his advice?
that about if your pride pride speaking, you must more your speak but volume, not too louder, but it's just a pride question about you and your Joseph friends. But if you talk to public, you need to uh you 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 need to explain your senior and the confidence. Then
Okay.
the audience will be trust you.
Wow. Okay, very good. So, in private conversation, Arabs like to sit close together. In
Yeah.
public speaking, they
Yeah.
compensate for the distance with expressive body language and raised voices. All right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have questions before we proceed to number three?
No.
Okay. So for number three, excuse me, when presenting, the body language of the sexes tends to be a little different. Okay?
Okay.
And which do you associate with? Men with women. Okay?
Okay.
So I speak two languages, body and English. So that's according to Mae West, Hollywood legend. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Are you done, Nikki?
Yes.
Okay. So, for men, for men, or this one first, letter A. So move around the room more. So it's the men, right?
Oh, I, I consider it's warmer.
Ah,
Oh, but I don't know why it's men. Because I think women like to stay in a room do something. So I don't know why it's men move around the room more.
well, it's because they are unconscious and unstable, with, especially when they are explaining. So it's the fact that um, they are not comfortable with. Okay,
Oh,
so when compared to a woman, okay, the woman is stable, especially when they are speaking. It's just the movements. Okay,
okay.
so for B,
B
hold eye contact 4 times longer. So it's the women.
woman.
Okay. And gesture towards themselves.
I think it's a
So it's
woman.
a woman. It's a women, okay? And gesture away from themselves.
Man.
Correct. It's the man. Okay? So point and wave their arms more.
Man.
Okay, very good. Smile and nod while listening.
Women.
Very good. So tilt the head and frown while listening.
Mm, women.
Okay. So the correct answer is man. Okay. So you know what's the meaning of tilt?
Yes, maybe men just like you be more they their front. Maybe their front is expressed in their face, but
Okay.
women not express their front very often. I think.
Okay. Well, the correct answer is man, because they are not nodding their head, but in fact, or instead, they will just raise their eyebrows.
Okay.
Okay. So keep bodies fairly rigid.
Man.
So, man, correct. Do you have questions, Nikki, before we proceed?
No.
Okay. So for number four, so it's quite long. Well, depending on you, on how you're going to describe or explain. Okay. So, how typical are you of your gender? How could you be a bit more gender neutral? So, I want you to explain everything.
Okay.
Okay. And I will let you read it aloud right after.
Okay.
Okay.
Teacher, I finish.
Okay, so how typical are you of your gender? How could you be a bit more gender neutral? So kindly read.
I think women pluck their lips and toss their hair when they talk to others, maybe. Okay.
Okay,
And well, woman, well, I think they when they laugh, they will chuck or use their hands.
okay,
And the woman typically tend to smile more often than men. Because women frankly smile to be polite or fulfill cultural expectation. Women are more like and the women more likely to touch each other than men are. I think woman
okay. So kindly say frequently.
fr- frequently,
One more time. Frequently.
frequently,
Very good. Cultural.
cultural
Expectations.
expectations,
One more time. Expectations.
expectations.
Okay. So if you are a woman presenting to a mostly male audience, especially a senior one, okay? So
Okay.
you might want to think about commanding your space. So a little more by moving around the room, smiling just a little less, and gesturing outwards. Okay, so all these behaviors, rightly or wrongly, okay, are associated with confidence and tend to be more typical of men. So too much smiling and nodding, in particular, can make it look like you're too anxious to please. Okay, so if you're a man presenting to a mostly female audience, you might want to wander around a bit less, but loosen up your posture a little more. So, to avoid coming across as arrogant or superior, try to avoid frowning when concentrating on what someone is saying to you. Remember, remember to smile and look people directly in the eye for a second or two longer than you normally would. So, all these behaviors, again, so rightly or wrong, are associated with being open to and interested in your audience and tend to be more typical of women.
Okay.
All right. So, do you have questions, Nikki?
No.
Okay. Now, for number five, Nikki, look at the statements below and match them to the gestures that would be best reinforce them. Are all these gestures acceptable in your culture? So you
Okay.
have to answer, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Teacher, finish.
Okay, let us check. So for number one, so I think there are three main issues here. Okay.
I think it's E.
Okay. Very good. Wait, let me just. Okay. And I ask you, what are we supposed to do?
I think A.
So, okay. I wonder what the answer is here.
F.
Okay. Okay, let's take these points one at a time.
C.
Okay. This really isn't good enough.
D.
Okay. And let's just remember one thing.
B.
Okay, very good. So, do you have a question, Nikki?
No, but in my culture, we seldom use D.
D.
Because, yeah, because we are not sure what it wants to express.
Okay. Well, it's okay. Well, yes, D, that's really isn't good enough. So, it's just you're saying, but you are not showing gestures.
Yeah.
Okay. So, certain gestures are famously right in some cultures. For example, the okay sign, okay, with the tip
Yeah.
of the thumb and index, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, finger touching is offensive in Brazil. So, pointing the index in the middle finger upwards with your palm inward is a rude. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if now rather old fashioned gesture in Britain. So, the thumbs up sign can also be risky in some countries. Also, be careful not to punch the palm of your other hand. So point directly at people or display an open palm with the fingers separated. So the list goes on and on. All right? And
Yeah.
there's no need to be paranoid. In general, the lively use of gesture will make your presentation much more effective than stiff immobility. So don't be inhibited.
Yes.
Be yourself, okay? The
Okay.
audience knows you are a foreign and are more likely to be amused by a couple of inappropriate gestures than offended by them. So it's much more important to eliminate any distracting habits you repeatedly display.
Yes.
Okay? So, for instance, using the same gesture over and over again to emphasize points. All right?
Okay.
Okay. So, here, work with a partner since you don't have a partner in years, so you need to do it alone.
Okay.
Okay? So, memorize the short presentation extracts below one at a time, and then take turns to present them. So, what gestures feel natural for you? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, I can't see your gestures, okay?
Yes. Yeah.
But I can feel it, the way you talk, the way you deliver the statement,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah. I think that first you maybe use your two hand to describe how to speak or very successful. Yeah. You maybe you talk this.
Okay.
You will use your hand to more big to wave your hands.
Okay. So
Yeah.
while explaining, you will use your two hands,
Yeah.
both hands.
Yeah.
Okay. So kindly read that one, so I can feel or I can imagine how you use your two hands.
Okay. And B, it's it's ex because it is described it's expensive, more use about money's gesture.
About money gesture.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's too high, and you maybe when you talk about this, I will explain maybe use monies and uh, and talk about is too high, not it's too expensive.
Okay. All right. So what about C? So, for example, number one, as you know, the project has been a huge success.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you deliver the statement. Okay, so on the one hand, it's very high quality, but on the other hand, it's expensive. So what about C?
Let's see. I don't know. I have no idea about gesture because I think it's about something just to eliminate, maybe emphasize eliminate. Use to use fingers to describe its distance.
Okay, so I think we can eliminate option B straight away.
Okay.
Okay, so for D,
Uh, maybe it's like your finger to indicate floor floor to express here.
okay, so what?
Mm, because I want to emphasize to one of you here today. Here.
Why are you here today?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but this isn't about me. It's about you. Every one of
Yeah.
you here today.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. So for E,
Who knows? Maybe use two hand to and the shoulder. So who knows? Explore who knows?
who know?
Shoulder and the hands to
Okay.
explore.
Okay.
And the F maybe use two
Okay.
finger to express two main reasons.
Okay. So, what's the long term trend? Frankly, who knows? Okay.
Yeah.
So, what about F? It isn't, or it just isn't working, and there are two main reasons for this.
Mm. So you use two finger rep repre represent two main reasons.
Okay. All right. So for G, we're aiming to expand our product range by 25%.
Maybe just two finger two hand use 25, 2 and 5.
2 and a 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So for H, so our goal is to increase productivity will or while cutting back on costs.
Mm, This I have no idea. Yeah.
So
Maybe.
yes, you can use two finger or one finger by uh tapping your face. Okay.
Okay. To to emphasize it's
Yes.
in course.
Yes.
Okay.
For us at the moment, R and AMP D is a top priority.
Mm, Maybe your one figure is about top pre property.
Okay. All right. So the whole thing has been a disaster from the start to finish.
Mm, Maybe use hand is flat to express finish.
Okay.
To use one hand to tell.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And the K about is about use 6 to 8 million dollars. You can use to 6 and 8.
Okay. So what about L?
Uh,
So firstly,
First,
it's highly effective. Secondly, it's
yeah,
highly efficient. And thirdly, it's high time we did it.
yeah. So when you talk firstly, you use one finger, one finger. Second is two, or third you use three finger
Okay.
to emphasize.
All right. So letter M, and it's powered by the tiniest microchip you've ever seen.
Mm, Maybe use your hand to explain your circle,
Two.
to use circle to express your tiniest microchip.
Okay. Yes, that's how you do it. You just need to use your finger or hand
Yeah,
and uh, uh, performing a tiny microchip.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, do you have questions, Nikki?
No. I
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you understand everything that we've discussed?
Yes.
Very good. And since we run out of time, Nikki, we will continue answering
Okay.
number 7 on our next class. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So do you have questions, Nikki, before we end our class?
No, thank you.
You're welcome, Nikki. And thank you so much for tonight. You may have a very good night, Nikki, and goodbye.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.